Okay, is it a bit too close? Move it out. You see, I was trying to avoid the reflection.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
No. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first vlog as
Husband and wife.
Indeed. We had a little break.
We're exhausted, by the way.
We're exhausted.
Yes.
Exhausted. I mean,
But it was worth it. It was amazing. The most
nobody
beautiful.
actually tells you that you definitely need a holiday after a wedding, like immediate holiday, like switch up everything and just take a break and breathe in and kind of like enjoy the time on cloud nine, which by the way, I still am on cloud nine, even though it's been more than a week since our wedding.
10
It's
days.
been 10 days, yeah. Wow, happy 10-day anniversary.
Happy 10 days anniversary.
I took a little break. I enjoyed. I posted on social media. My team posted on social media. Because I was like, guys, I just need to bask in all of this love and happiness. But we're here because we have so many questions to answer, like that you guys had. I wanted to go first, asking you, how did we decide on venue? Because I think that's kind of like a first question.
So we always wanted to get married in Como Lake because Tamara and we have a very close relationship with the water. So the first element that was non-negotiable was the water. So, we thought about Capri, but then we thought...
That was the first idea.
But there was, you also want to give your guest a beautiful experience. And in our opinion, to go to Capri is already a lot of work because you have to fly, you have to take a boat, you have to take a taxi, you have to walk up. It's not the most convenient place, Capri, to go for only one night.
Or two.
Capri is amazing, is the most beautiful place in the world, but you need to stay there at least 4 nights to enjoy, all the traveling.
And especially it's hard, Capri, if you've never been before logistically, like if you don't know what...
No, logistically, it's you have to walk around, a small street, no cars, so it's not a place where you go for a weekend. Capri, again, you have to stay 3-4 days. So we were like, okay, what about south of France or Como Lake?
I think you forgot a very important part, Filippo.
What?
That then our second thought, so our first thought was Capri. So we went and saw a few venues in Como Lake.
Yes.
And the first venue that we were like, this is our venue was?
Villa Pizza.
Correct. But then we changed our mind. Do you remember? And we wanted to get married in Venice.
Yes. Because that was another option. Also, Venice is very convenient. You land in Venice. It's beautiful.
Also, Filippo is from Venice.
I'm from there.
We always wanted to have some emotional attachment. It was never going to be random.
And to be honest, I really wanted to get married in Venice. We tried a few hotels. But then something didn't click. That's it.
So many regulations in Venice that you guys cannot even imagine. A lot of the venues were so protected by UNESCO and all of that good stuff. So you could not have loud music. You could not have music after 1 p.m. or even midnight.
And there is a difference, guys, in between getting married in as a location hotel or getting married in a private villa. When you get married in a hotel, even if you do the buying out, that's how they call it, which is a very, very important expenses, you still cannot do what you want, and
you cannot do anything that you want. Obviously, Filippo loves the real candles. Most of these venues were of course, no real candles. I don't know, it's not really that important, but we really had to look at a lot of venues in Venice, and we really loved one.
We spent the whole day in Venice, and we did, the location we saw in Venice was one more beautiful than the other.
I'll put some clips.
Beautiful palace, beautiful hotels. Venice is incredible.
So there was not really place where the water view was. Water view was my main thing. That was also the thing with Venice. So the venues that we liked were not really on the water, and I wanted to be surrounded by water.
Yeah,
it was very important to me. So
that was the most important
thing for me. And in France was a lot of greenery, a lot of greenery, but also nothing really that sparked our excitement. Or also there was one other thing. We've been to a lot of weddings and a lot of our friends' weddings recently in the past, let's say 4 years, and we didn't want to get married where some of our friends had their wedding because it would feel also it mattered.
Also, a lot of people get married in there are the most beautiful villas in Como Lake. They are very popular. And they're popular for a reason because
they're beautiful.
They're beautiful. My best friend got married in one of those villas
In Villa Balbiano.
in Villa Balbiano, and it was our dream wedding.
Yeah, it was
because it
beautiful.
was really, really the most beautiful wedding I've ever been. But then you don't want to get married in the same villa where your best friend was married. Well, got married.
You know what I mean? Also, like, even for him, it would feel different.
Yeah.
Like he's attending his own wedding, and for
But
you.
but that was good, because my best friend was got married there, and we decided let's find different options, and thank God we did that because we find the most amazing villa in the Como Lake. At least that's our opinion, obviously, because we got married there, which is Villa Pizzo.
We actually found the villa in November 2023. I'll insert some pictures and videos if I have of the first time that we went to see it. So we basically went and we saw it and we were like, this is it. When I saw that island, which is like a ceremony place, I was like, this is exactly what I envisaged. Now, the villa itself is something that I would never recommend to anybody because it's a logistical nightmare for anything. Like, there is a very long path from the actual villa to the ceremony spot. I think 400 meter.
Yeah.
From the entrance to the ceremony is like 1 kilometer, I think. And obviously that's a nightmare when you need to bring all the flowers, all the production, build the
Yeah,
stage.
logistically it is.
You need golf carts as well because obviously you cannot get a car inside. So logistically, not the easiest. And also when things are logistically complicated, also it costs you so much more because you have to put so many other things in place. So not the ideal solution, but we really liked it and we kind of ended up going for it.
Yeah, and
So-
also, as you know, the most difficult roads, they always take you to the most beautiful places. And the thing about Villa Pizzo is that we wanted our guests to arrive by boats because that was part of the experience. One was the wedding itself, obviously, but you also want your guests to do a new experience. For a lot of our guests, it was the first time in the Como Lake. And when you go in the Como Lake, you want to show them Villa d'Este as well, which is what we had our brunch. And then you want them to experience the lake by boat, which they did. And that was very, very important for us.
How did we choose Lake Como and the venue? I think we answered that question. But overall, besides the beauty of the water and the view, it's also very close to Milan, which is important to us because a lot of our friends come from Milan. Also, it's an airport that is very convenient for people coming from anywhere they come. So a lot of different things that in general made full sense. Like, it was not a random, like, let's just
And
get married
also,
there.
look, Como Lake is a well-known, is a love place. Everybody goes there to spend the weekend. And I think we picked the three most beautiful
I think so too.
location there because we did the welcome party at the Mandarin Oriental, which, by the way, just for you to know, is just being renovated. And then we did Villa Pizzo, the wedding, and then the goodbye brunch at Villa d'Este. And you guys, all you need to know about Como Lake is those three locations.
And we love Villa d'Este. We go there all the time. We stayed there. So it was
The
like
team is fantastic.
very nice to us. Yeah.
They help us with everything we needed. We don't give that for granted.
I think also because, I'll be very honest, in those special locations, people are usually really, really terrible. I'm sorry to say. We also forgot to mention that we looked at a villa in Portofino.
We did.
And for example, we really liked it. We were going to book it. That was it. We loved
Yeah.
it. There was
That
a
was
lot
the
of
very
water
first,
view. Yeah, in between. They were so difficult. They were like, you cannot have food you want, you cannot have cake you want, you cannot have anything. And in the end, Filippo, you cannot have logistics you want, you cannot have like almost even a photographer you want because they were so particular about the villa that only people that know it
Because
very well can move in the villa.
When you book this kind of villas, especially in Italy, because they're all very old, etc., etc., they make it about themselves and not about you. And it shouldn't be like that. Wedding is about you. It's not about the location. We pay the location, and that location belongs to me that day. In Italy, they are like, you are my guest. I'm not your guest. I'm paying for the location. The house is mine today. That's why it's very difficult. And we do understand that most of the time there are old buildings and okay, so you use the people they want. But anyway, that's why we didn't...
So in Portofino, it got so heated, the discussion, that Filippo in the end asked them, okay, like they were like, you cannot have this, you cannot have this, you cannot have that. Only like few bands you can have that we have approved. You can have... And then Filippo asked, can she wear the dress that she wants?
Yeah,
And they
shall
were
I,
like,
do you want to tell me also what I have to wear? Because,
and they said, no, you can choose the dress you
Yeah.
want.
So,
And
goodbye.
we were like, goodbye. We're not getting married here. There were so also like all these kind of venues as we were visiting, like the special venues, they were so not friendly, which is why Filippo also mentioned how nice they were at Villa d'Este, because they were really accommodating with our things as well. Because it can be hard. Like they don't let you have, I don't know, like for example, we wanted a particular champagne. We wanted Ruinart champagne. We loved Ruinart champagne. Also, we wanted our guests to have the best of the best of the best. We wanted caviar. We wanted Volzhenka caviar for our guests. So, you know, it was like a lot of going back and forth to make sure that these venues will allow us to have particular food that is not within their catering team. But then what it just basically means is you still have to pay for their champagne,
Yeah.
even if you buy your own champagne. It's kind of like called like a buyout. So what they're doing is they're not allowing you to have like, I don't know, your cake, because they feel like their catering team is losing out on money because you're paying cake to someone else. So this was like a lot of annoying things, like basically you have to pay for the cake twice if you want to have a particular cake, which then eventually throughout the process you just get used to all of these annoying things. And like you pay a venue, but then the day before and the day after, when you're putting it and you're taking it off, you are paying for the time of using the villa. But you know, you need to do it, right? You need
Yeah.
to put things on. So it was like a lot of really difficult things, but all of these things were kind of like a part of the process of wedding planning that we did not enjoy. I would be very honest about that. How involved were you in the decor, flowers, and all the smaller details?
We were very much involved, but I must say that without Lucia and Nico,
Yes.
nothing would have happened.
So, by the way, guys, I just wanted to be very, very honest with you. We paid for the flowers, we paid for the wedding planner, we paid for everything.
No, we paid for everything.
But when I love a
Still
service,
still painful, still painful.
when we love a service, I cannot tell you how happy we are. So our wedding planner has become a friend,
Yes,
and
more than a friend. They're family now.
yeah, Lucy from Atelier L, she was like really, really on it. And we had these calls that were like 2-3 hours sometimes, signing off every single piece of furniture, like every single piece of furniture from the cocktail in between that we haven't even seen, because that's the time when you're like with your family and you are actually like changing the outfit or whatever. We picked every single candlestick, every single flower, but that also goes to Ronnie flowers. Like they were so incredible as well. So one day in May, I think it was like 14th of May, just before Cannes, we went to their, like, I don't want to say
Showroom.
offices.
Showroom.
Showroom. And we went through every single candlestick,
Yeah.
chair for the wedding, flower, aisle, like vase, everything. We went through everything together. And like I told you, we wanted real candles, for example, and you're not allowed to have real candles. So we decided to have them in the flutes because I didn't want to have LED candles, and Filippo either. So we chose every single little thing, which is what took so much of our free time. We didn't leave any. We chose
Yes, but,
tablecloth.
but-
Tablecloth we chose.
Yeah, but Lucia and Nico, they were very good, and that's why they are the best in what they do, because
I agree.
they really understood the subjects. So, you know, Tamara and I, we are similar for many things, but we are very, very different for many other things. When it comes, for example, on furniture, on art, on decoration, we are kind of, you know, different. I'm more like raw and rock and roll. She's more like luxury and romantic, right? And they spent time with us. They understood who we are, and they came back to us with different options. And that's what the skill of a wedding planner. They understand who you are, and they, you know, they shape their own plan around your personality, and they did a great job.
Great
because you know, the brief was rock romantic, okay, bit dramatic, which is me, a bit romantic, which is Tamara. Black rock and roll, it's me. Pink, red, white, romantic, Tamara. And I think they did a perfect
They
job.
really listened, because like what we gave them as like, oh, we want like this vibe, they really got it. You know, there was no anything that we didn't want. We are quite like different people, Filippo and I. Like you said, he's more rock, I'm more like maybe polished. But I think our wedding was not, we didn't want any like feathers and like crazy over the top things, because it's not in our style.
No, baby, but why do you even mention that? Feathers?
No, but you know what I mean? Some people love that.
No, I know, but this is so far from us.
Yes.
You know?
So they understood it. They were not constantly. You know,
Yes.
I tell you something as well. In the process of trying to search for venue. We said, okay, we're going to have approximately 100, 120 guests, maybe up to 140. We weren't sure,
Yes,
right?
yes,
100 guests, we
yes.
said. And then initially, we were even like venues would send us, we say, like, we have 100 guests. They're like, oh, we fit 60, but here is an offer. And I'm like, well, I don't need your offer if you fit 60 guests. You know what I mean? So sometimes people still offer you things because they're not listening. But our team, I think they really, really listened to what
For
we
me,
wanted.
the most beautiful thing about our wedding was the location, because the location, the venue, if you are at Como and you want to go visit, I don't know if it is even possible, but it doesn't look like this super luxury villa. It looks like a
Historical villa.
no, it looks like I'll tell you, like a farm where some people live. You know, you go, there is a little house where the farmer lives with the family.
I know what you mean.
Then
A
you walk.
greenhouse.
There is a greenhouse. It's not polished.
Yeah.
It's not like a, I don't know, the other villa. There are a lot of beautiful super luxury villa in Como where they are like, wow, the king and the queen lives there. No, in our location, the queen wasn't living there. The people working for the queen lives there. So I think they did a great job in finding that venue.
I agree. What was your favorite part of the wedding or moment in the wedding?
So first of all, I must
What
tell you.
first comes to mind? It doesn't
Okay.
have. Yeah.
First of all, I want to say that I don't have really a clear picture of what happened. I don't really remember much. I did enjoy very much the brunch on the Sunday, because the pressure was gone. You know, I was the day of the wedding. I didn't enjoy.
But not even with your boys?
Yeah, I did, but I was so stressed. It was like an hour before the wedding. The moment I enjoyed the most is when I saw you.
Yeah.
That was the best moment of my life, because I saw you walking and I had no idea if she was coming with the veil, without, with wearing something in the head.
What did you think about the dress?
No, when I saw the dress, I was like, wow, this is so chic. That was the best moment. If you ask me with friends, probably the best moment was during dinner when our friends did the speech. That was the best.
For me, I had a few best moments, and they're very clear in my mind. Morning, getting ready with my girls, that will never ever happen again. Like, I'm
Yeah.
actually very emotional, like, talking about this, because to have like all my girls that all come together, and they're all from like my different friend groups, to come together. They were like steaming their clothes. They were, you know, like, we were having fun, we were having a little drink, and just really having that girly moment where they were all coming, like my little like fairy girlies. Like, I cannot even tell you how each and every one of them helped me so much on the day. Like, they were incredible and so loving and nurturing and caring. So having that female moment was so special for me. Having like a first look with my dad when he saw me in wedding dress and bringing me to the altar, I know it was very important to him, and that was so beautiful to me. My mom's speech was very, very, very personal, and I know it was very important to her, and she was very like trying to keep it cool while giving that speech. That was something so important to me and so beautiful. A moment where I'm with Filippo singing We Are the Champions.
Yeah.
I loved that moment, and coming in for our first dance was such a high energy moment, but at that moment I felt so overwhelmed that my heart was gonna explode. I felt like I'm gonna faint, but I'm also enjoying it. Like, I cannot even like explain the explosion of feelings. I really kept it cool. I didn't cry until the moment that I saw my two nephews walk down the aisle, because I could see them, only them, walk down the aisle, because my girlfriends, they walked before, and then I was coming around the corner when my two nephews walked, and I saw them walk, and I was like, oh my god, this is just like so special. And then obviously locking eyes with Filippo as I was walking down the aisle, that was so deep and beautiful. And actually I really enjoyed Filippo's vows. They were made up in a moment, and I think he did so well, and he's very good. He's not a man of many words. Like, he's not a man that is like, I love you, I adore you, you're like this, you're that, but when he says something, it's so meaningful and so deep. So yeah,
That's why. That's the point. You know.
those were my favorite moments.
I don't. To be honest, I'm enjoying our wedding now, more than in the way. You know, everybody told me enjoy the wedding, enjoy the moment, enjoy. Guys, there is nothing really. You don't have time to enjoy your wedding. I was worried that all my guests were having the best time, that the food was served, that the food was good, that the sun was not too hot, that the boats were on time, that everyone has what they needed, that, to have a memorable weekend. So I don't remember anything. Now I'm enjoying it. I'm watching videos and pictures. I'm like, wow. But do I remember your speech? Not really. Now I saw it and I was like, wow. But I didn't remember anything. Honestly, I don't remember our wedding.
So this is the next question, which I think kind of connects nicely to what you just said. What advice would you give a bride who wants to be fully present and actually enjoy her wedding? I was so present in the wedding. I remember everything, and I've like everything that I've seen with my eyes, right? Like there were a lot of things that I haven't seen. Filippo is different because he was so emotional, but he keeps it inside. So for him, it's all like a blur, and he needs to kind of come back to the moment of understanding what just happened. But one trick that really helped me is I never saw my phone for 3 days.
Yeah.
I never saw my phone. So Annabelle had my phone for the 3 days, like, and you should assign one of your bridesmaids to have your phone. I never asked for it. I never looked at it. I never had my phone, like not during the dinner. Like if you have any look at any clips, you will see I never had a handbag and I never had a phone. Actually, I had a handbag on, I think, welcome cocktail, and I left it on the table and I only picked it up at the end of the night. Annabelle was carrying it also for me. She was like my phone person. Like, you should have people that tell you kind of what to do, people that have your things in case you need something. But I never ever looked at my phone once. I never had it. I didn't know where it was. So on Saturday, the day of the ceremony, I only got my phone back at like 2-3 a.m. I don't even know when. And I was even thinking, will I even see my phone again?
You know that
And I didn't miss it. I didn't
your
even think about it.
Dunya, Tamara's sister, she asked me, so what do you think? Who was the best dressed, girl at the wedding? And I told her I have no idea. I don't remember anyone.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone dressed. I all know the boys because they were with me and they were
Yeah.
all wearing smoking. But if you ask me, I don't remember. I
Yeah.
don't. So, but then of course now that I'm, watching all the pictures and the videos, now I can see our wedding. But did I see my wedding? No.
The next question is, was there a dress code? Which kind of ties in.
Yeah, there was. A dress code was, we wanted to give a black tie for the wedding because you want everybody looks, it's beautiful when you see.
And it's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, but the best one, if you ask me, it was the day of the brunch. As a dress code, we gave brown, beige, that kind
Brown,
of.
beige, gold.
We wanted to give this kind of
Italian summer.
60s summer vibes, and to see everyone wearing that light brown, dark brown, and people went. They came with a hat. They came like, okay, let's celebrate the Como Italian Riviera summer, and that was my favorite.
For the cocktail night, we just had cocktail chic, so there
Yeah.
was not really anything restricting. But yeah. Did you feel nervous?
So not the day before, not at all. I actually enjoy very much the welcome party. It was nice to see all your friends. You see that they all come in there from you. They fly from US, they fly from Europe, from Finland, from Germany, from France, and then you're like, wow, these people, they all here for us.
From Serbia.
From Serbia, from everywhere, and we were like, okay, that was kind of emotional, but all good. Sunday was the best because I was completely relaxed. The day of the wedding, woke up, had a breakfast with some friends, with Jacob, with Umar. I saw some people there because I like to the getting ready, and these I will tell you in a private video, guys, because you have to know about my getting ready because you will not believe it, because I didn't believe it. So the morning of the wedding, I woke up and I said, let me go to, because a lot of friends, they were staying at the Villa d'Este, so I wanted to go out and see my friends. So the morning was chill, beautiful. My dear brother Brent,
Yeah.
which came to celebrate our wedding as a,
Yeah.
and we had lunch together. So I was very, very relaxed the whole day, like no pressure at all. 4 p.m., 2 hours before the wedding, the boys came to my room, but I'll tell you everything about my, But then 1 hour before it started kicking, and I was like, okay, now
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm nervous. I didn't prepare anything to tell Tamara. But again, I will tell you my pre-wedding
Sorry.
in a private
Video.
in a private video because there is so much to say.
Okay.
So yeah, but yes, it kicked me. It kicked me 1 hour before.
For me, I was not nervous at all. I thought I would be much more nervous. I felt so normal and so fine because all the people that we had there were our friends. We didn't have like any random people there, you know, or like, so there was one rule that I'm so happy we did, which was no plus ones if we don't know them both. Because then it could be very uncomfortable having people at your wedding that you don't know. That's, I think, how weddings become uncomfortable. So everybody that was there, we knew and was our friend. You
Yeah,
know?
and also, but that's again something that is my personal opinion. I never share with Tamara. You know, for me, wedding is one moment of your life. It's not your life. It's one moment, like your 50th birthday, and you know, I like to celebrate my life with the people that belongs to my life in that moment. So I didn't invite, for example, people that I knew when I was 20, because when I was 20, it was 30 years ago. And now I don't know them anymore. Now I know other people that are in my life now. And for me, you know, I want people to be part of my life in that moment of my life, if that makes sense. But that's my own personal rule. And that's it.
I'm actually looking at my group chat and now my friends are texting because we just shared pictures with our guests, the guest pictures, right? Looking at a wedding now, take me back. Have you ever seen a prettier bride? It's not normal. They're all like different people messaging. Also, who was this lady? And also, besides our squad, that was the hottest dressed guest. Then, look how pretty my Kate is. My babies. This is so funny. No?
Yeah.
I think this was one of my happiest moments of the year. I was by myself on the boat. I was just so happy, and I'm so happy that I have this photo to remember. Will he ever forgive me for making him wear these? How funny. It keeps going on and on and on and on and on about a wedding, and it's just like, for me, the biggest gift that we could have given our guests is that they've enjoyed it. Everybody said that they left with so many new friends, and that's one thing
Yeah.
that I'm the happiest about. I saw people socialize who have never met before. And okay, we're gonna continue this Q&A.
Yes.
But gonna wrap the Filippo section up here. He will get his private moment as well.
Yes, I will.
I grabbed 20 minutes for myself and I wanted to continue answering some of your questions. I'm kind of like doing this throughout the week. You'll notice that I'm wearing something different. I don't know if I look different, but I'm just kind of like, whenever I can grab 10, 20 minutes to answer some of your questions, whether alone or with Filippo, I'm kind of gonna do it throughout the video so you guys will see. How did you decide on Alaya for your dress? So I knew which man I wanted to marry and I knew which man I wanted to design my wedding dress, and it was Peter Mullier from Alaya at the time. Now he's just changed the houses, and I believe that my wedding dress was the final one that he designed at Alaya. It was like a very, very intuitive approach. There was not much thinking. I just knew what I liked and I knew what I wanted. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in my previous Q&A, like before the wedding, you asked me, did you feel any pressure about your wedding dress for Instagram? And like, you know, people are expecting so much from you. I genuinely didn't feel any pressure. I knew that my wedding dress will for sure be a surprise to many because people would have expected me to have like crystals and lace and feathers and embroideries. Yet for my dress, I think the longest it took was to get the most precious silk ever. Like we had to really like take time to get the silk in. Everything else was really simple. I had a meeting with the couture team in December 2024, so very long ago. In January 2025, I already had first sketches. It was like end of January, so it was couture. I already had, I believe, 8 different dresses sketched, and my first intuition was I wanted an off-shoulder dress. I love how I suit off-the-shoulder dresses, right? So I was like, I would like to have an off-the-shoulder dress. The rest, I'm not really fast. I know I don't want it to be like a huge and pompous dress. For people who know me in real life, I'm not a very pompous person. I like quite simple and classic things. For me, it's always like quality of craftsmanship over anything else. So I looked at the sketches and I had my first like kind of like incline towards this off-shoulder dress. And I thought it was going to be that one, but then the sketches stayed with me and I kind of looked at them a little bit and I was thinking, the one thing that they wanted to know, Peter wanted to know where the wedding will take place. And I said the wedding will take place in 2025 because that was the initial plan. The wedding will take place in 2025 on Lake Como. You will see in the sketches, it's like my face and it was inspired by the water view in Lake Como. I kind of like lived with these sketches for a month. And after a month, I came back and I said, I actually decided on this dress, which was like the most simple but dramatic in the structural way. So there was the corset, the kind of like accentuated shoulders, accentuated waist, and like a simple skirt. And they were like, this is so funny you chose this dress because it was also Peter's favorite sketch. And for me, I was like, I'm so shocked that this is what I want, but this is what feels the most true to myself. And my goal was that the dress is me, that the dress is not for Instagram, that the dress is not to impress anybody, the dress is not for pictures or for whatever. The dress is who I am as a person. If I was a dress, I would be that dress, okay? So that was it. Then Fashion Week, February or March even, I met up with the Laya team and I said, guys, we have a problem. We're moving the wedding to a year after. And they said, you know what? Let's wrap it up here. You're going to change your mind about the dress. You're going to want a different dress. You will not want to get married. Like if you're sitting on this dress for another year, you're going to change your mind. So anyway, another year passed. We again rejoined this January and I said, guys, I have not changed my mind. I still want this exact same dress because I love it so much. And they were really like surprised because they said that usually people do change their mind about a dress. I hope I'm gonna love it in the next 30, 40 years. I don't know. I'm sure I will. I don't know. You never know what life brings. But anyway, I really love it and it was so easy. I wanted something classic, qualitative. I wanted Parisian couture and I wanted like a bit of architectural drama, you know? So that was it. I was very, very happy. I loved the process. I loved the team. On my last fitting, we cried because it was very, very beautiful, emotional. I kind of like throughout my fittings, I kept losing weight. Towards the end, very unintentionally. I think I was just like anxious, like, and there was so much to do and plan. And also I was working out. So they kept like bringing it in. And they were so nice and so accommodating and beautiful and wonderful. And obviously a lot of my fittings I did by myself. And then for the last fitting, as you guys know, that Ksenia came, she surprised me in Paris. We did the fitting together. It was so beautiful. And she filmed a lot of content for me, for memories that I can also show you guys now.
Thank you. You're ready? The dress also?
How's it looking?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Go.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, how are you feeling? 1 to 10?
I don't want to look, but I want to look.
I haven't looked.
This is so good because I will get to keep the corset, that I have like a perfect corset for anything,
That is perfect.
right? Let's see. You know, nobody guessed which wedding dress.
Wow, it's
Not one person.
wow.
Besides Alaya being one of my favorite brands, which you guys know, and I shop there a lot and I wear the brand a lot, I wanted to wear at my wedding dresses and brands that I truly love and wear every single day. So not like something that I've never actually loved. I work in fashion also, so it was very easy. So I immediately knew I wanted Magda Buttram and Kate New York for sure to be part of my wedding. Because if you look at my wardrobe, Magda Buttram and Kate New York take the majority of my wardrobe space. I told Magda in person, I was like, you have to do my dress. And she was so incredible. We were like texting on WhatsApp. I sent some inspiration. We were kind of coming up with what we wanted. And I said, you know what? You do the crochet. And the crochet, which sparked so much intrigue, is actually something that I grew up with. My family would have the crochet tablecloth on the table. My grandmothers loved it. It's part of Serbian heritage. I guess Eastern European heritage, to not offend anybody, so not to say just Serbian, but it's part of Eastern European heritage. And I'm so proud of that. I don't understand why younger generations are embarrassed of that grandma crochet heritage, when for me it's something so beautiful and so artisanal, something so special. So when I spoke to Magda, I was like, crochet would be what I would love to represent my roots, because, you know, we're getting married in Italy and there's so much Italy present. Why can there not be also Serbia present in something, in a way, or like my roots can be present in something? So I loved having the crochet dress that was so beautiful, special to me. I flew to Warsaw for a fitting. I shot myself in the foot by choosing dresses from all these different countries and continents. So I had to travel a lot for the fittings, but it was so worth it. I came to Warsaw, sat down with Magda, we like spoke for 2 hours, we just like chatted and enjoyed it. And yeah, I loved wearing that for my welcome cocktail, and also she was present as well. So it was beautiful. For Kate New York, Kate does not really do these kind of like custom dresses as far as I know. So I was like, how are we going to pull this off? But Kate Holstein was so amazing. I sent like my inspiration of what I wanted for the dinner. And when she sent me the sketch, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. So the reception dress was from Kate New York. It was beautiful champagne color. The material was divine, and it's also a dress. Besides the Magda dress, this dress I think I'll be able to wear so much, because why not? Why wouldn't I wear my reception dress a lot? I really loved it, and I was like, that's it. Went to New York for a fitting, and actually on that fitting, the team was insanely wonderful. I love them so much. I couldn't fully close the dress in the back, so we had to change a few things. And then it finally arrived, and I tried it at home when it arrived like 5 days before the wedding. Filippo saw it before as well, and I was so fine with that. Like no, he did not see the Magda dress. But Kate dress, yeah, he saw me in and he was like, this is so beautiful and lovely. And I knew immediately what jewelry I wanted with it as well. So it was a very easy one. As soon as we got engaged, Fashion Week September, I went to the Richard Quinn show. And as I was sat there, I remember discussing with my friends, and I will insert the clip if I can find it. And I said, I'm considering a wedding dress from Richard Quinn, because Richard Quinn is one of the designers that you probably guys will remember that late Queen Elizabeth actually attended his fashion show. It's probably one of the only, if not only, fashion shows she's ever attended. And he is known to create the most incredible, special, beautiful dresses one can imagine. Embroidery and material, and in every possible way, so special. So I was like, I have to have one of the dresses from Richard Quinn, and I knew exactly the direction I wanted to go, because Richard is a designer that I love, and if I could wear at every and any possible occasion, I would. So I really love it. If you have any special occasions, he does a lot of custom. Not a lot, but it's like a big part of the business, and I think it's just so special. I love the headpiece. I thought the headpiece made it so royal and beautiful and elegant. So the dresses were very easy to decide on. The next question is, which bridal look ended up being your favorite? And genuinely, that would be like choosing my child, because they're all so special to me. I would not be able to choose my favorite bridal look. Maybe I can ask Filippo which was his favorite groom look. Did you have your favorite groom look, Filippo?
Favorite groom look? You mean beside mine?
Not like your of the 4 looks that you wore. I mean, I loved your Schiaparelli look so much. But then I also love your black Saint Laurent for the reception.
I don't know.
I think you like the Friday the most. I don't know. But anyway, it's a very...
Also, this is for my own video.
Okay, for your own video. I will leave it there. I wanted to say that when it comes to other things besides dresses, there was obviously jewelry and the shoes. For the shoes, even before I knew the man, I always knew I wanted Jimmy Choo's as my wedding shoes. And I thought I wanted this pair here. I always thought I wanted this pair. But then I wore it a lot in real life, and then it kind of became a little bit, I love this pair so much, but I've already worn it. I don't know if it's special enough for my wedding day shoe. With Jimmy Choo together, without even seeing the dresses first, by the way, you guys, this is kind of dangerous game, but I think it worked out well. We came up with this beautiful custom Seda. Now, I love Seda so much. Like, Asia is my favorite Jimmy Choo shoe, I would say, for every day, but as I don't want to say my second favorite, but my other favorite is Seda. And I wore them so much, you know, like the all covered in crystals. I wore them so much, and I wanted to have something like that for my wedding. Sophisticated, classic, and simple. And we together came up with this beautiful kind of see-through mesh on the toe cap that was custom made for my wedding. And it had obviously at the bottom of the sole as well, custom written Tamara and Filippo. And I love that. I really, really love that. The first shoe that I wanted, I don't even know their name, but I just know that I love them and that they're the most comfortable shoes that I wore ever. This gorgeous, gorgeous lace model. If you guys want to check them out, they are also in a non-bridal category. So like they don't have to be just bridal, like you can get them yourself if you want for non-wedding related things. But the lace shoes that I wore for a reception are the most comfortable shoes ever. I danced whole night. I was jumping. I was like being pushed and pulled around as a bride should be, I guess. And I'm so happy. I couldn't have been happier with my shoes. On day one, I wore Magda Buttram that were together with the dress. And on the final day, I wore custom shoes for my friend Sandra from brand Hagelstam. They had Mrs. TKT. I mean, custom because they are Mrs. TKT inside. And other than that, you can get them because the color is actually available to buy. So yeah, I love my shoes. And the jewelry. The jewelry started with the journey of creating a wedding band. Now this is my wedding band, which I think you guys know it is designed to fit perfectly with my ring. Like it was custom made by Bucherer. And Filippo and I went to Lucerne, I want to say in April or March, I'm not even sure, just to kind of like see how we can create and like to choose the wedding bands, right? Like to look at, not even to choose, because we were like, let's see if we can do our wedding bands here. The team scanned my ring. They did the CAD of the wedding band, like to kind of plan it and to make it all work. And I was like, I love it. But while we were there, I saw a drawing, not even like a picture. I saw a drawing of the yellow sapphire necklace that I wore for the reception. And I was like, this necklace I need to have. And then I also saw the Skyline necklace, which is the necklace that I wore at the Goodbye brunch. And I was like, these two necklaces, I mean, guys, I need them in my life. I've never seen anything like that. And for me, for my wedding day, I didn't want to have something predictable, something already seen. I didn't want to have like something that is like a bit fashionable or too sceney. I wanted to have something that I have not seen anybody else wear before or, you know, ever, kind of like looking special and memorable. So I knew for sure I wanted these two necklaces. And then I also knew that I wanted to have something with baguette cut, whether it's a eternity band or a necklace. So that's what inspired the look for the welcome night. I changed several looks. For the ceremony was the hardest one because I didn't have the dress ready. I did not even see, like, I could not have the dress with me to go and try on the jewelry. So this was the hardest. I knew there was like high neck, so no necklace. I didn't want to have like a bunch of bracelets. It's more like giving beach than a bride, you know what I mean, to me personally. So I wanted to have like big, strong earrings. And I was choosing between kind of a chandelier pair and the pair that I wore, and I'm so happy with the pair that I wore because I think it's like really cutting edge, different, special, with the big diamond and like just like special shapes and really architectural and geometric style earrings, which is something I really, really love, and I think it complemented my dress very much so. So that was where we came with the jewelry. One of the questions that I received is, how did you get such an even tan? Guys, when I tell you that when I tried the Kate dress like 5 days before the wedding, and I saw that you can tiny little bit see the tan line here, like here, okay? Not here, but here. Now I got a little bit of tan line yesterday, but now I don't care anymore. I freaked out and I went twice to the beach. I literally was like opening up my bikinis and sunbathing like so low in it that I was like, I just hope nobody sees me. And it's so funny because like friends would come by and be like, hi, and I'm like, sorry guys, I cannot get up from this sunbed. I am lying and getting the right tan. That was it. I was like, I'm getting my wedding tan. And people understood mainly, or probably thought I'm crazy. Both are okay. Both are also true. So it was an effort. I wanted to get like an even tan and I wanted it to complement my looks. So I worked on it because nothing in life really comes effortless, I'll be honest. And even the most effortless things that look effortless are really never effortless. But I've written a whole Substack on that topic, so you can check it out if you ever want to see my Substack. Talking about which, some of you have asked me if there were any things that I would change upon my wedding. And I have written 5 things I would change upon my wedding, but I have posted it to the Substack. So just to keep that platform, to give it a little bit of its own thing, it's only fair that I leave it for Substack. If you want to read 5 things that I would change upon my wedding, you can check it out on my Substack. Maybe we can put a QR code here or something for you guys to check it out. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think about it. One last thing I wanted to say regards beauty and fashion, so that we can wrap that topic up, is the glam. So this is how the story goes. I had my first Alaya fitting, and that the first fitting in a couture is usually done in like normal material, so not in your haute couture material, which is so precious and so special. It's just done in like normal fabric to get the shape and the form. I had my first fitting, and Eva, who I love so much and she's done so much for me, she's asked me, who's going to do your hair and makeup? And I said, hair, I'm still figuring it out. And makeup, I am going to do myself. And she was like, you cannot do makeup yourself. You will be so stressed. And I said, I always do makeup myself. And I think I'm okay and it's fine. And then I thought about it and I realized that she's right. Like on the day so special, I will have so many people around me that I will not actually be able to enjoy and do makeup myself. So since I never actually used the services of makeup artists, I had no experience in how it's gonna be, but I always knew that I loved the energy of Andrea Ali. I loved her energy and I loved her work, which I could have seen on Instagram, but I never seen in real life. I just knew I loved it. I met her several times, but then we had a dinner in New York. I want to say, in New York, in February at Fashion Week. And I really enjoyed her company, and she's so lovely and so cool and wonderful. And if you guys don't follow her, you should. And I spoke to her a lot about makeup and stuff. I met her through NARS. And NARS is, I would say, guys, my favorite makeup brand, especially for like base, the foundation I use, the blush I use, the bronzer. I mean, I use so many NARS products that, I just love NARS. And NARS put us together, and somehow it came to like, we were discussing, and it came to it that I got Andrea Ali to do my wedding makeup on all the days, and I was so happy with all of them. Now she's done my makeup 4 times because she actually came to my house in Monaco like a week before the wedding to do a trial makeup. I loved it so much. I sat in it. I lived a little bit in it and I loved it. And I didn't want to show it to you guys because I didn't want to spoil it, right? Like I put sunglasses on when I was vlogging. But she did an amazing job and I'm so happy with her. And when it comes to hair, I also spoke about it. I have hairdressers that I work with regularly that are incredible and that I love them. I really, really enjoy work of people that I work with. Like I regularly work for Fashion Week with like Srdjan. This Fashion Week I work with Petru because Srdjan unfortunately couldn't come with us. And I didn't want this wedding to feel like Fashion Week. I didn't want it to be like a Fashion Week experience. I wanted it to feel like a bridal experience. So I worked once before with Sebastian on a cover shoot and I loved his energy. He was so like calm, composed, organized, very professional, not like, I didn't want to have some sort of like energy that would have felt, because it can happen sometimes, right? For the glam side. And I met up with Sebastian in London. He did a hair trial. I knew what I wanted. He came up with the updo on the welcome night, which I really, really, really loved. And for the wedding itself, I told him like, this is what I want. I would really like half up, half down. I had huge influence from Filippo. Filippo really wanted me to have a hair up for the wedding, for the ceremony. But he was like, of course you're going to have hair up for ceremony. But I wanted to stay true to myself.
Yeah.
So I did half
You're
up.
good. Thank you.
So I did half up, half down. And I'm so happy about it. Okay, I'll wrap it up here because I need to go and eat something. Okay, we're continuing. Another day. I'm just getting ready actually. And I wanted to answer some more of your questions that you guys have. If like a lot of questions remain unanswered, I'm more than happy to answer to them later on. So you guys will just kind of like, let me know in the comments below actually if there's something that I missed or forgot to answer, because that's a fear. I feel like I've already filmed so many questions. You seemed so relaxed the whole time. Was there a moment you actually felt nervous? I thought I was going to be so nervous, and I thought I was going to be so nervous for the vow part where I have to speak in front of people, right? And I have to kind of like speak about like really, really personal things. I wrote my vows for Filippo, not really for everybody, but I was not nervous at all, you guys. Like maybe I was a little bit nervous 5 minutes before, like getting the buggy to walk down the aisle. Maybe that's the only moment I was nervous, because if I'm honest, like everybody was kind of nervous and everybody was like, oh my God, like, you know, like it was kind of like being backstage before going on the stage, that vibe. But I was really surprisingly calm. So you guys know we had some rules. We had rules of not inviting plus ones unless we know them, or unless, like, you know, we both know. There's no introductions on the wedding day. We know everybody who's our guest, and everybody who's our guest is our friend. So because I already was vulnerable in front of these people, and these people already are so like close to us, it was my family, it was my friends, I'm not gonna be embarrassed in front of my family. You guys, if you know me in real life, I'm not a shy person in front of my friends, okay? I can be shy in front of people I don't know, but in front of people I know, I'm an open book. So I was not nervous at all. I was there to like talk about things I was very comfortable about, which is love, and I was there to get married finally after like planning this for so long. So everything just felt so natural, and I really genuinely was not feeling at all nervous. They're not all spots, some are pigmentation, but I just wanted to say one thing about weddings. The one thing that I knew, but I didn't know how much it is to kiss more than 100 people every day. Like, so here's the thing about me. I pull an Irish exit. I pull an Irish exit all the time. My friends laugh about how often I disappear from birthdays, from parties, from things. And at your wedding, you cannot really disappear because people are gonna search for you to say goodbye or to say hello, right? So Friday night we arrived, like everybody like hugged and kissed us. Of course, it's so beautiful. That's the reason kind of why you do the Friday night welcome cocktail, because everybody's traveling there for you. So you want to greet everybody on Friday, so that on Saturday when it's like kind of crazy, you can just dance and enjoy a bit more, right? Because even if you take 1 minute for everybody, it's like 2 hours of greeting. So yeah, then on Saturday, again, hugs and kisses, hello and goodbye. And then on Friday again, of course. And that's one thing that you cannot avoid, right? But the reason why I'm mentioning it is because I felt at one point, because obviously so many men, Filippo has beard, but his beard is very soft, but so many men have like stubble and stuff. And when you kiss so many people on the day, you feel like your face is on fire. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I was like, oh my God, the kissing part, because I'm so used to doing Irish exit and not actually saying hello and goodbye to anybody, all of a sudden it was like a cultural shock to me, because I was saying hello and goodbye to everybody. That's why it's so important that you only invite people that you really love and you really care about, because you will be doing that. And I was so happy. I don't know how to say it, but like it was just very, very comfortable, not nervous. It didn't feel like work. It was genuinely none of that. I wasn't, by the way, gonna do all of this makeup, and now that I'm talking, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, so it's just coming naturally. I genuinely think that I wish I had like 2 more days with my guests, like 2 more days of not having events and not dressing up, just like having breakfast together, having lunch together, talking, recapping. That would have been heaven. And I really, really loved seeing all the people. Like, we had people coming from quite far, and genuinely, for me, I was very grateful to every single person that came just for us. That was like really, really major for me, and I'm so happy. I also have to say that yes, I was so relaxed, but I was like really, really present in the moment. And I think I was present in the moment because I was relaxed. Because Filippo, for example, he does not remember half the wedding because he was a little bit more anxious. And that I did not expect. Did anything funny or unexpected happen or not go to plan? Yes, probably only one thing. Our MC was Jürgen. What was so funny, my mom was giving a speech, and my mom went to get her glasses in the bridal suite. So he was like, and now Tamara's mom will give a speech. And then she was not coming. And then he was like, where is she? And then she wasn't there. And then for like 5 minutes, he was like, well, okay, I don't have Tamara's mom here, so I was not ready for this, so now I don't know what to do. And then Filippo jumped in and he gave like an impromptu speech, and it was so funny because he was just like, that was, I think, the part that you could see in the video. He didn't really prepare it, he didn't really plan it. It was the part where he said to people like, oh, I cannot believe like everybody who's here, who came for us, like blah blah blah. But it was very, very not planned and not expected, because the speech was supposed to happen later, or Filippo was going to give some sort of speech, but later.
We're blessed. We all have an amazing life. We all travel so much. We all work very hard. 50% of the fashion industry is run by people here tonight.
And Filippo doesn't really plan his speeches. He didn't plan vows because he's so good in the moment. He doesn't really need to plan anything. His mind thinks about. He's given me speeches like every birthday. He gets up and he greets everybody and he gives a little speech, and he's just so good at it. By the way, I will link also beauty products that I used below if you guys want to see it. The one thing that I recently discovered and I really love is this Ole Henriksen Peach Glaze Glow Mist. It just gives such nice glow, but also hydration. And it's such a fine mist. Love it. Was there a small detail that meant a lot to you but most people didn't probably notice? I heard about this in the actual vlog. I think like for me, I really wanted to have a white peony bouquet, right? First of all the bridesmaids also had the white peony bouquet with one anemone in it. And anemone was my grandmother's favorite flower, and she really wanted to be there at my wedding, but she didn't make it. So this was my way of like really having her there with me. Also, all the groomsmen had the anemone flower as well. I don't think anybody really noticed this, or it was not like that noticeable, but it was noticeable to me, and it was something that was very, very important to me. So, you know, it's like a personal, very personal thing. I think like I had a lot of personal things, like a lot of things that I felt like were only known to us or only kind of special to us. On the day of my wedding, I saw my grandma everywhere. Like, it was incredible. It was just like, wow. Nobody can convince me that people who are no longer with us but who cared about us were not there on the day. Like, I was just, wow, I cannot even tell you. It was supposed to be like horrible weather in Lake Como. First of all, I'll insert a screenshot of the weather forecast. And we kind of knew that that's what you get when you book Lake Como. It's 30% chance of raining in July. Yet, there was not a cloud. Did Filippo surprise you with anything during the weekend? Well, I don't know if you're referring to the behavior or like a gift or something like that. So the behavior-wise, I think his wows really surprised me because the way he responded. I joked that, you know, he seemed to be a little bit too perfect. I realized he can never find anything, even if it's in front of his eyes, that at the end of the day, he's just a man, right? And then he said, for a man who cannot find anything, I did really good to find you. That was his like opening line, and I was like very impressed, to be honest. This man, he's not a big flatterer, he's not a big like on compliments, but when he wants to say something, he really says it, and it's quite beautiful, to be very honest with you guys. It felt really beautiful. His speech also, he surprised me with that, the impromptu speech at the dinner. He surprised me with that. He surprised me with one other thing. Like, sometimes this man, he gets carried away. He's like a big child inside of a man's body, and he gets carried away in the moment. Like, I was a little bit concerned that there'll be so many guests that we will not spend any time together on the wedding, which can easily happen, right? We didn't really discuss anything, or we really didn't talk about like how are we gonna do things and all of that. But we spent the whole night dancing together, and I loved that. That was really, really beautiful to me. Like, I didn't expect it. It's so funny how different things are important to different people. Some things that are important to me might not be important to other people, and some things that are important to other people might not be important to me. For me, the most important thing is that we have each other and that we have good time together and that we were together. So on the day, that was like, for me, the most beautiful. We had intimacy in a group of people. That was what was so important to me, the intimacy, even while with a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know if you were talking about material stuff, but yes, he actually also gave me a gift on the final day of the wedding weekend as well. In fact, he's given me a gift also before the wedding. He's given me a gift on the last day. He's really spoiled me. I can't really say. The first gift that he's gave me that was wedding related was when we were in Nice with Jimmy Choo. He was like, I have this for you as well already. I want you to see if you like it or not so that I know. He's been very, very, very loving and sweet. He's upgraded well to a husband level. One thing I wanted to say about wedding planning, yes, it took so long to plan. And yes, you pick every single like tablecloth, knife, fork, plate, glass, bar, and the sofa, and the chair, and the little stool for the cocktail and charcuterie board, and the design of it, and design of like caviar bar. All of this you pick, and then everybody's telling you none of this is going to be important on the day. And it's true. None of that is important on the day. But when the day is over, and when you see your venue and you say, wow, I love it. That feeling was insane. I don't know if you guys saw our first reaction when we saw the dinner venue. I was shocked. I've never seen anything like that. And I go to a lot of events and I've seen a lot of different things. And I was so happy with it and I was proud of it, you know? So yes, it's true that none of that is important, but I wanted it to be beautiful for our guests. I wanted our guests to enjoy. Like our guests called us after to say how much they loved it. And that is important to me. So I guess we had this like whole dilemma whether the draping should go all the way from the roof or kind of halfway down. And in the end, we were like, it's okay, we'll go all the way up from the roof, which obviously it's just like the matter of cost, right? Like that's the whole honesty. We were like, it's okay, we will go all the way from the top of the roof. On the day, I didn't even look at it, I didn't even think about it, but I'm happy. I'm not regretting anything. Like, I don't know if you're getting married and if you're thinking like, oh my God, all of these things and it's extra and this is unnecessary and it's taking a lot of time and maybe you're not enjoying it. I did not enjoy wedding planning, but I enjoyed my wedding. I enjoyed my wedding so much. I never saw my phone. I danced so much. There is a picture of me doing shots. Like, guys, I really had the best time, honestly. It was crazy. Like, everything was also so personal. Like, our officiant for the wedding, Brand, like, I know him as Filippo's friend, and he is also a CEO of Saint Laurent America. And that's how I know him, right? But then when we had a call about the actual wedding and the ceremony, he said, would it be okay if I also invite the heaven to come and join us at the ceremony? And guys, we all started crying in the call. I did not expect that. I did not expect that he will get the voice of like everything that I'm thinking and everything that I'm feeling. And it will be through him that I will get even more feelings on this day. Like, it was so incredible. Like, everything he said was like spot on what I wanted. I don't even know how that's possible. You know, like, it was so emotional and so beautiful and so deep that I really feel like it was the best day of my life. One of the best days of my life, because it's unfair to say that, considering that I have two nephews, and really when they were born, it was pretty best.
Good morning, my lovelies. Welcome to my own channel, my own YouTube channel. I just want to take you through my wedding personal experience. You know, after the wedding, you think what could I have done better, what could I have done worse. I think there is nothing we could have done worse. We did perfection, to be honest. I think we invited the people we love the most. Of course, someone could not attend because someone was busy, someone was playing World Cup, someone was playing tennis, but they were all there with us. The location was amazing. Lucia and Nico, which is, you know, our wedding planner, did an incredible job because they really read, as Tamara would say, the room. So I have some questions that you guys asked to Tamara, and I'm gonna answer to this. One is, was there anything you thought you'd care about but completely forgot about once the day started? Yes, there is something about myself. I thought, first of all, that I was going to write down the vows, but at the end I didn't, because nothing came to me, because there was too many things that came to me, and I didn't want to write it down because I really wanted to come from my heart the day that I had Tamara in front of me. And that will happen, and I'm very happy about that because it was simple, but it was, you know, coming from the bottom of my heart. And then there is one specific thing about me I thought maybe I do my hair down, maybe I do my hair up, maybe I do this, maybe I do that. And the truth is that on the way to the wedding on the boat, I just did my hair by myself. So I put them up without a mirror. And that's how I got married. But that's also a little bit myself. So that's what I forgot. I forgot to, I should have thought about the pictures and about this and about that, and I didn't think about any of this. And it came out extremely, extremely natural, which is, again, what I am. Reflecting on it now, how do you feel about the choices you made? Is there anything you would do differently? No, I would do everything exactly as I did. Location amazing. I would have married the same wife. Lol. I would do everything. There is nothing I would done. Again, maybe I should have think about the pictures, because sometimes I see in the pictures I look a little bit, like the jewelry and the hair and whatever. But again, came out natural. Are you planning a honeymoon or waiting until later? So honeymoon, not really, and I tell you why. We are spending a couple of days, 2-3 days a day in Rock, because it's Tamara's and I favorite hotel, one of the favorite hotels in the world. And then maybe we do a proper honeymoon in December or in March. And I would love to take Tamara to a safari because she never been. And as you guys know, I lived 5 years in South Africa. So I would love to take her in South Africa and show her a little bit of that and to have a proper, beautiful safari, because as you know, Tamara loves more than anything else, more than me. She loves animals. So I think for her it will be so beautiful. And that's what we are doing. I want to say something about the wedding. I don't know if it happened to most of you, or maybe it never happened to anyone, or you just can tell me, because I'm kind of intrigued about this. I have few black things about the wedding that I don't remember. I remember Tamara in every single moment. I remember her walking to me. I remember the moment with her father. I remember her vows. I remember the time I spent with her during dinner, but I don't remember any of my guests. And I told them I didn't see any dress, which is kind of interesting. If you know me, you know that if we're walking, Tamara and I, when we're walking and you're walking towards us, I will look at you and I will remember the shoes you wear, the bag you wear, the dress you wear, the sunglasses you wear. Because that's what I do, I like to, and I just, remember things because I like the looks, I like to see what you wear, etc., etc. That night of the wedding, I remember zero, which is kind of interesting because, yeah, that's it. So I think this was very interesting. What else? Oh, here is Tamara. Here she is. Good morning. How are you? Hello. Would you like to show something?
I hope you had a nice chat, Filippo. Is there something that you wanted to share that you didn't share already? Thank you for getting me a coffee. Okay, well, I think we need to wrap up this Q&A here because for sure it's going to be more than 1 hour long. I don't know what's going to be with it. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you have more questions that we haven't answered regarding the wedding or planning or anything else that you need help with, let us know. Now I feel like a professional wedding planner. Not a professional wedding planner, but I feel like a professional bride because I genuinely I'm giving all of my friends who are getting married tips because I have so many. Let me know if you have any more questions or if you're curious about anything, maybe something that we haven't shared already, let me know. And I'll make sure to film it in one of the next videos. Thank you for watching.